Hi guys. So today we are going to be drawing an elf. And we're gonna you can draw either a boy elf or a girl elf. You can draw whichever kind you want. So I'm gonna show you step by step how to draw this. If you hear my puppy, I'm sorry. I'm at home sick, so I'm just gonna do my best, just like I tell you guys, to make all of this work, and hopefully I won't drop my phone while I'm trying to record this for you. So all you're going to need, you can ignore this is nothing we need. So all you're going to need is, of course, a piece of paper. If it's a piece of lined paper, that is fine. You'll need a pencil and an eraser. It can either be the eraser on the end of your pencil or a nice big eraser if you have a nice big eraser, and a marker, but this is optional. I lost my black Crayola marker somehow, but I don't know where it's gone, but I do have this black Sharpie marker. So it doesn't have to be a Sharpie. It can be a black Crayola marker. If you don't have a marker, that is fine. You don't need to use it. So I've already done this one over here. And what I like to start with is the hat, this big rectangle up at the top. So you need to make sure that you're not doing it like right in the middle. It needs to be a little bit up above that because we want the face to kind of be in the middle of the paper. So on this one, I am going to draw a boy elf. So here, I'll move this out of the way too. And like I said, I start with that rectangle for the hat up above. So I do like to make it kind of a curvy rectangle. And when I say curvy rectangle, all I mean is that this edge here isn't like a sharp edge. So it curves softly instead. And go all the way over because we draw big. We do not draw small. Hopefully you guys are remembering that. And then I'm going to have the little hat thingy, the little puff ball, come off over here. So I'm going to put a curving line coming up from the edge here. Don't put it too far in because this is still where his head is. So his head doesn't just like get skinny right there. So make sure it stays kind of wide up there too. And another one up like that. And then we're just going to have kind of a triangle come down here and back up, kind of like the letter V. And then we'll just do some little curvies for the little puff ball. So now we have the hat already finished, and we're going to work on the face now. So what I do with the face, all I'm going to do is bring a line straightish down, curve over, and then go back up. So his head is in that hat. What I do next is the ears, and since we're drawing ourselves as elves, we're going to put pointed ears. So all I do for that is I go up at a diagonal. So remember that type of line that goes at an angle, up, then back down, and then you can curve to the side of his head. So we'll do that over here as well. Diagonal up, and then kind of curve back down to the edge of the head. In here you can put like a little curving line, kind of for like the inside of the ear, just like that. From here, we can go ahead and maybe we should do the nose first. So I'm going to give him kind of a smaller nose, and it's just going to be a curved line, kind of like a sad face. And then with the eyes, I've been enjoying doing the eyes kind of like this style. I have a 4th grade girl who's been doing eyes like this a lot, and it's inspired me to do some eyes as well. They're kind of cute. If you know, if you watch anime, you might know the word kawaii, so it's more like a cute kawaii eye. Or just anime eyes. If you don't know what anime is, it's just cartoon. So just cartoon eyes, basically. I guess I should have said just cartoons. So for the eyes, I'm going to make them bigger for the boy here. and I just do a circle. If you make a little mistake, that's fine. If you're not good at making circles, just take your time. If you need to, remember you can do the polka dot or the dotted line to kind of give yourself that guideline, and then just connect those dots. And that's a much easier way to make a circle if you're just not good at drawing them. But remember, draw big. Now, I'm not going to want to put eyelashes on him because even though boys have eyelashes, if you draw them on your picture, it's going to make it look kind of like a girl. So I'm going to leave him without eyelashes, and you could just do a circle and another circle if you wanted, but I'm going to try a different type of eye. So I'm going to draw kind of a big circle, or kind of like a backwards letter C, or maybe even kind of like the moon, like a big chubby chonky moon. And then I'm just going to put some little circles in here to make his eyes look all glossy, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And again, this is one that you could do if you want to, but I wanted to try something new, like I said, and that's part of the fun thing of art, is trying new things and seeing if you're good at them. And if you're not, well, then you just don't do it that way anymore, or you just keep trying until it does get better. So we got the eyes, we got the nose, and then I'm going to give him a big curving mouth, just like that. Now, since we did eyelashes for the girl, I think maybe we could do some eyebrows for the boy. So we could give him some big rectangle eyebrows. Actually, I'm going to have it cover up the top of that circle. So his eye's going to disappear under that eyebrow. Just like that. And again, over here, I'm going to draw a big rectangle. And it is curvy kind of again here, instead of like a sharp angle. And when I say sharp angle for a square, where's my pencil? Here it is. I'm talking about this. So this is more of a sharp edge, whereas if we curve it, it's a lot softer, right? So that's the difference there, and I'm trying to avoid doing this so it looks more friendly and soft, and that's what those soft edges, those curves, will help. I got distracted and we didn't finish the eyebrow. So then I'm going to erase the top of his eye because the eyebrow covers it up, and we don't have x-ray vision, so we need to erase that part. All right, I kind of like how he's looking. I wasn't even sure where we were going to go with his face, and I'm liking that. All right, so the next step, I'm going to go ahead and draw his neck, which is just 2 vertical lines, and remember that's up and down. And then for the girl, I did kind of this like V angle, like the letter V here for her neck. But I'm just going to do, on this one, it'll be a little simpler. If you need something simpler, I'm just going to do an oval. And it doesn't even have to look perfect. Just like that. All right, so I do like how this looks because we usually, whenever I see a picture of an elf, I always see these collars on their shirts that are triangles like that. So all I'm going to do is come from up here, and I'm going to go over at a diagonal, and then back in like a zigzag, down, back up, down, back up, down, back up, and then I'm going to start back up here and connect it. So I'm going to come over, and then when I zigzag up, I'm just going to go here to connect these two. That's pretty good. Now all we need to do is add his shoulder. So from over here at the edge of this point, we're going to curve all the way down to the edge of the paper. So make sure that you do go all the way to the edge, all the way to the bottom. Hopefully you're drawing big so it won't look weird so long as you're drawing big. And I'm going to curve out over here to the edge of the paper. And I'm going to go from this point to the edge of the paper for an arm on both sides. And then I'm just going to go down with a vertical line for his tummy. So then we have his body there. Now what you can do, I like to give him some little buttons here. And we didn't quite get all the way on. We didn't quite have enough room here for this bottom button, and that's okay. We can just do a half circle like that. And what else do we need to do? We should probably give him some hair. And we gave some long hair to our girl, so let's go ahead and give him some short hair. So let's see what it looks like if we give him. So all I'm doing here is some zigzags. So I'm just going to zigzag all the way over. Now I'm not going to go through his neck because we can't see his hair through there, because his neck's in front, so make sure you don't go there. So then again, I'm going to start up here with a wobbly line, and then come down, and then start with my zigzags, just like that. And this doesn't have to be a perfect line. It can just be zigzaggy. And the more zigzag that you put in it, the more texture it's going to make it look. Kind of like it has a hair, like it should look like hair if you have more zigzags there. All right, so the only thing we have left is patterns. And when I'm talking about patterns, I'm talking about things that repeat. And the things that are repeating here are all of these lines. So if you see this horizontal line that goes left to right, that is repeating, so that is going to be a pattern. So we have 3 here, so that's a pattern. 3 over here, and then a bunch up here. So all of these are giving us patterns. So I'm going to do a stripe pattern on his shirt as well, and I just take a horizontal line. I almost called it vertical. And vertical's up and down, Miss Mobley. So this has to go left to right. So I start over here and I go all the way across to the other side. Now, one of the things you need to be very careful about when you draw your own patterns is not letting it get out of hand. And what I'm talking about there is I spread these out and I only drew 2 horizontal lines. But I've seen some kids that when they put in a pattern, they want to do like 50 billion, and that's going to be it's gonna be a nightmare because if you are going to trace with marker, you have to trace all of those lines. And if you're gonna color it like a pattern, meaning you go like red, green, it's going to take forever. So what I'm talking about there is I don't want to see you doing this. I don't want 50 billion lines in your patterns or 50 billion shapes or anything like that, okay? So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that because that's going to make it a lot harder. And we're not trying to make it harder. We're trying to make it beautiful without making it too crazy for us to finish in time. So all I'm going to do again is use like 2 or 3 lines. So 1, and I'm going more of a diagonal here since his arms are more going off the side. 2, and then 3. And we don't quite get to the bottom there because the arm goes off the edge. So we've got 3 lines over there, and then we can do another 1, 2. We won't see much of that one, but it's there. So that's all you need to do for the patterns on the body. Then we can go up onto his hat and we can do some vertical lines for a pattern up here. Again, I'm not trying to put 50 billion. I'm just spreading them kind of nicely apart so they're not super close to each other, and just putting some vertical lines in there. So that's probably good. We'll stop there. And I made a little mistake there, so I'm just going to erase it. So how many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7's not that bad. And then what we can do, We will be adding patterns, more patterns. We've already did some vertical and horizontal line patterns. We'll be adding more patterns next time when we color this. So make sure that you do not color this yet, because all we're doing today is drawing it and then tracing with marker. Again, if you don't have marker, that's fine. You can just stop here. But now all I would need to do is get out my marker and take my time tracing over the tops of those lines so they are outlined in black. So you need to go slowly at this stage, or at least don't rush it too much, or you'll end up ruining your beautiful work, and that would really stink, right? If we took all that time drawing it nicely and then we rushed and we ruined it at this stage. So just take your time and go carefully and trace all of the lines. This is a little hard to do with just one hand because my other hand is holding my phone so I can record this for you guys. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there because you don't need to see me trace all of the lines. You know how to do that yourself. And you will have a finished piece that looks like one of these. We will be coloring it next week. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to maybe paint this. So if you have watercolor paints at home, awesome. If you don't and you want to be able to paint this next week, see if you can ask your parents or your grown-ups if they can get you a thing of watercolors from the store. And I know you can get those at Walmart or the Dollar Tree, but if you can't get them, that is fine. We can always just color like we usually do. So take your time, draw big. I don't want teeny tiny ones. So remember, this is a kind of a regular sized piece of paper, and I used the whole thing. So if you aren't using your whole piece of paper, if you're drawing this itty bitty teeny tiny little elf, you are not following the directions, and that will not give you a good grade. So take your time, do your best, and I can't wait to color this with you guys next week. All right, bye guys.